to Hayes Outdoors and Tractors. In the next series of video that we had said we were going to bring to you, we're going to take the front end loader, show you dismounting it from the tractor. Also, once we get it dismounted, taken off, we're going to go ahead and take 5-10 minutes and show you how the front end comes off the sides, and how you raise the hood up, move the bumper down, and how you have access to the motor and see what you can see, how you have to do your maintenance and everything on the RK24. So we are going to have to start and shut the tractor off a little bit. Whenever you first start, obviously you have to lift it up, you have to put the legs down. You'll see us doing that, and then you'll put it down, and really realistically all you really have to pull off are these pins right here. There's one on each side, and as you can see, there's no weight on here. Again, just like the backhoe, this is a yoke here that the frame, this big pin right here, sits down in, and that's more or less what takes the weight of the front end loader. The only other thing that's in addition to this than normal ones, without the third function valve, are these wires right here, which we'll show you exactly what we have to do with that. So our hydraulic lines are all right here. We'll show you a close-up of that on how we're going to unhook them. Relatively simple, all color-coded. You can't go wrong with them. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to lift the loader up. You're going to lift to take a little bit of pressure off the pins. Push them out. These drop down. Once they drop down, you repin them and replace your pin in the back here. We'll do that on both sides. It's kind of like they're straight down, but as the loader rotates down, those rotate back. And as you'll see, I'm not gonna start the machine up. I'm just gonna let it down, and you can watch as it makes contact. So now you have your weight on here, just starting to go down onto the legs.
Good.
Okay, as you can see, it's down on the legs right now. Now the bucket's not quite on the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the tractor. I'm going to rotate the bucket till it makes contact with the ground. At that point, I'll go ahead and pull the pins on the sides, and after I take the pins off, I'll rotate that bucket just a little bit more, and it'll pop those out of those yokes on the side here, and that should let the front end loader go free. Okay, so as you've seen, as you manipulate your bucket a little bit, it pops it off of here. It was stuck a little bit. Okay, so as you've seen, this was stuck down in the yokes just a little bit. That's why it wouldn't come off exactly how I wanted it to. That's just real life, and it's just how it is. So what I'm going to do is, before we put it back on, I'm going to put a little grease in here. There isn't any grease fittings for this yoke to be able to utilize that. There are grease fittings up here for the arm and for the cylinder, but there's none right here. And as much as you use it, it wore all the paint off of it, so it was catching a little bit on that. So we'll take care of that whenever we get to put it back on. So as you look up here at your hydraulics, again, you want to make sure you take the pressure off of the hydraulics, okay, before you start unhooking any of the lines. If you can get a close-up here, you have red, green, white, and yellow. So they're all color coded between the cap and the line itself. So all you do is pop these off, each one. There's your 4 lines. So with your pins pretty much on a normal loader without a third function valve, you're free. All you do is slowly back up directly between the arms and you're free. Okay, so you have your third function valve on this tractor. So right down here, as we showed in the previous video, that loosens the hood. Raise your hood up, and what you have is these 2 plugs right here. Okay, so you're going to unplug this one. This stays on the front end loader. Unplug this plug, and that disconnects the third function valve from the tractor itself. We used to have to unplug these, and then we rewired and got them around to where they can just stay on the tractor itself. This part right here all stays on the tractor. You just cap all of your females so you don't get any dirt in there, and then it also keeps you from losing any hydraulic fluid if it would happen to be leaking a little bit. These all need clean, so I'm not actually going to cap them right now. So what you have is you have your 4 males and your third function valve power. Okay, so at this point we're going to drop the hood, and I'm going to back the tractor out away from the front end loader. Okay, so now we have the front end loader removed from the tractor. To be able to get into the tractor itself, all you do is loosen these bolts, handles, right here. This leans down, okay? Once you do that, pop your hood, put it up. Okay, so now we more or less have access. So you have 2 bolts right up front here. They're pre-threaded. They don't have a nut on the other side. You take these off. Okay, so that's your 2 bolts. Put them in a pocket so I don't lose. And this now leans up, and you got 1 pull or 1 plug right here. Unplug that for your headlights, and the whole front removes off the tractor. Set it aside, and at this point, as we were talking way before, you now have access. As you have that out of here, now you have access, as we talked before on the tour of the RK. You have your coolant right here and your battery right here, access to it. This is your horn here. There's a fuel filter up here. It's got a shut off on it. You also, with very minimal movement here, take your air filter off, and as you can see, it hasn't been cleaned for a little while. Shame on me, huh? Okay, so that's your the screen for your radiator. Now put this back in here. Okay, now here's where I said you can have access to the whole motor. Actually, okay, so you have a clamp right here. You pull out, it clamps on this little pin right here. Okay, and then you just slide, and you have 2 pins right here that slide back in, and they have 2 rubber eyelets right back in here, one here and one there. Now, as you can see, you now have access to your second fuel filter. Your oil check is all right here, and you have access to all of that. With this side, okay, you got your 2 clamps here, and now you have access to your alternator, starter,
your exhaust, anything else on the motor itself that you would need to get into. Okay, so to replace everything, you do this everything in opposite. Bring it up, set your eyelets back in there, bring it up here, and just push it on, and it clips. Then we're good to go on that side. There's also fuses. Your fuses are right here in the front, right by your battery. While we have the side off, anytime I take the side off, especially other than when I'm getting ready to do work for the day, you can access your oil right here to add oil, and your dipstick for the tractor itself. There's two fills on this tractor. There's one down low here while you have the side off, and there's one right up on top. So I'm a little messy. I'd rather fill from the side so I don't put all the motor oil down over the motor, and then you have smoking and everything else. So I always try to fill from here, but there is two fills on this motor. And then your dipstick for the oil is right here. Easy access right in. And right here is your oil filter. It's right under your dipstick. Right there, easy access. You can grab a hold of it, twist it off, put it back on. Oil's good. So, just so you know, we're doing this a little close up because Adam couldn't get it on the camera exactly where I was pointing. So here's your fill, and up on top is your fill, right here. So you have your two fills for oil. Your dipstick is right here, as you can see, right in the bottom. Your oil filter is right beside it, right here. That's your oil filter. You have fuses here and a fuse panel right here. And also you have a shut-off, fuel shut-off for your fuel, right here. Okay, and then around front, you have more fuses right here up front. Air filter. This needs cleaned, as you can see, but that's the air filter right there. It just pops right in. Give it a twist, and it's in. Then all you do is pop this back on, right like this. Right like that. This clamps. I kind of shut it in there. That was my fault. There we go. On. Clip it on the lip. And lock it shut. So that's all the access you really need, other than up underneath to the tractor itself. So just showing you how you take the front end off, how you have access to everything. It is kind of a little bit of a pain when you want to, anytime you need to check the oil, which should be every time you start the machine and run it, that you have to take the front off, take the side panel off to gain access to your dipstick. That is one thing that I really, it's more of a pain to do, but I mean, it is accessible. It's not that big of a deal. You take the two front bolts out, pull your front off, pull your side panel off, which you can do with the loader on. I do it with the loader on. You can still just slide it out, and then you have access. It would just be nice if RK would have put a dipstick up on top, where when you just open in the lid for the hood, that you would have access to that. Kind of like the hydraulic, as I said on my last video, the hydraulic glass window is back behind the backhoe, clear down underneath. If there was just access to it while you have your implements on, it would just be a lot easier. But if that's all I really have to complain about on this, I'm very happy for the price you pay for these tractors, the work they'll do, the power that they have, and so the tractors can do so many different things with just few implements that you really can't complain too much about it. You're getting a mini backhoe, a front end loader, box blade, all the different attachments that you can get, a tiller, all with one power plant right here. So you really can't complain too much. So if you like these videos, please hit the like, Thank you, everybody. I'm up to, I believe I checked this morning, 82 subscribers. So I've went up quite a few in the last week and a half. Thank you. I appreciate it. Everyone's still asking me more questions. I'm asking them questions. It's great. Especially Phil from Woods Tree Farm. They have a new channel out now that he's doing his tractor stuff on. It's been great. Been watching it. So look around YouTube. You know, if you're looking for certain things, if you have any questions or anything, there are a lot of videos out there. Like I said, Outdoors with the Morgans has a lot on the RK. He doesn't have an RK anymore, but he has Kubota. But in the beginning, he did have RK. So that's where I watched a lot of my videos from. But if there's anything in detail that you're asking or wondering about, please send me a message or something in the comments. If there's something that in particular that you want to know about, I'll be more than happy to let you know. I'll even do, you know, I'll video a little bit of it and you know, put it out so everybody can have that information, because I'm learning just like everybody else is. So like I said, if you like my videos, please subscribe, hit the like button. It means a lot as a small channel. And we're going to reattach the front end loader now, put the side back on, put the front back on, and again, I'll put it in fast forward. We're doing everything in reverse, and so it doesn't take too much time on the video. We'll go ahead and fast forward that, and you'll get to see it all put back on.
see, front end loader's back on now. It took about 2 minutes to disengage the front end loader. It took about 4.5 to 5 minutes to put it back on. So you got 7 minutes to take your front loader off and on total. If you're cutting grass, I can tell you my wife doesn't prefer to have the front end loader on when she's cutting grass. So when you take the front end loader off, you shorten the tractor up by about 4 feet. It's a lot easier for her to control at that point. And you can now see, you know, how you get into the front of the RK tractor, at least the RK24. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the like and subscribe, and share them if you have someone you think might like or is looking at maybe an RK or a small subcompact. If you'd like them to take a look at it and see how the RK is put together and how we use it, that I would appreciate that too. That does help the channel. So that's about it for this video. We'll see you on the next one.